Welcome back everybody to Steelman Outdoors. Still technically outdoors. I'm in my street, you can probably see people behind me. All the neighbours are out doing their grass, so apologies for the noise if there is any. As you can see, I'm in my front garden. Not able to go out to the woods as usual. So you're just gonna have to grin and bear with it, I'm afraid. Painstakingly cut my grass this week so that we could, last week, so that we could do this video this week. And yeah, it's looking a bit yellow now. I think I might have killed it all. At least it'll be some good contrast for the tents that I'm about to show you. Like most of the world right now, we're on lockdown. This is week 3 for me that I've been at home. Yeah, I'm an analyst by trade, so I'm able to have a laptop in my kitchen. I've taken over the dining room and I've created a little office in there. It's been a bit tough, but it's the same for everybody. It does mean that I've been able to post a bit more on Instagram, so link below. Check it out if you've got time. And I've got a few more purchases en route. Don't tell the wife. She'll definitely know because she'll see this video. I'm not going to bang on about coronavirus though. All I'm going to say is that I wish you well and I hope that you and your families are safe, especially with all those axes and knives flying about that I know you have. Anyway, I thought I'd do something different, so you've probably had enough of all of the camping in my back garden and cooking in my back garden videos already. Good job from all the rest of you though. I've been watching them. It's been keeping us all entertained. So I thought I'd do something slightly different and show you some of the shelters that I've got. I say shelters because one of them's actually a bivvy, so I didn't really want to call it a tent. Although I suppose it technically is a tent. I've got 4 to show you today, and if we're lucky and I've got time and this didn't take me hours to film, which it might very well do, then I might throw in the tarp at the end and just show a nice couple of configurations that I like to do with the tarp tent as well. So we've got number 1, which is the Lanshan 2. Number 2, what is the number 2? Number 2, the Polish Lavvu, which you've seen in my videos previously. Number 3, Vango Zetes. I'm not really sure how that's pronounced, but this is an old tent that I've had for many years, probably a decade or so. And then finally, my Cyprinus Pleasure Dome. Why on earth did they call it that? Bivvy. And I've also got the winter wrap for that, so we'll see what that looks like. So first up, the Lanshan 2. Comes in a small pack space. Fits nicely in a rucksack, and this is my go-to tent for backpacking or hiking, anywhere that I'm going to be walking more than a couple of miles. I do actually have the footprint for that as well, so that adds a few extra grams. I'll weigh both of these so you can see exactly how much they weigh. So the Lanshan and footprint, I'm not sure if you can see that in the sun, 1.34 kilograms, so 1,340 grams. The Lanshan hasn't got any pegs in it or poles, which obviously then add to the weight. I keep my pegs separately so that I can transfer them across to any different shelter that I need. Next up is the Polish Lavvu, which I got from Military Mart. And I talked about that in previous videos, which you can view here. It comes in a waterproof bag. Well, it doesn't come with it, I bought it separately. It was £4.50 I think I said. I'm sure that's how much it cost. But this does come with pegs and poles, so let's see how much this one weighs. Again, not sure if you can see that, but that says 3.25 kilograms. So the Lavvu isn't the lightest of tents, and I would probably only use this if I'm going to be hiking under a couple of miles. It's my go-to tent when I'm in the woods doing my bushcrafty stuff. And then the third one is the Vango Zetes, whatever, 300. This is a 3-man tent and it's my oldest tent. I've had it for a good 10 years or so. This kind of tent I would only use for family trips. I think I just broke something. I would only use that for family trips where there's going to be more than sort of 2 adults. I've had myself, my wife, my 2 girls and a dog in that tent before. It's pretty roomy for the size of it. And it's a double skin. We'll get into that when we look at the actual tent. And then last up, the Bivvy, which is pretty big. I can't even get it in the camera shot, so I have to stand back. And I do have the accompanying winter wrap for that. This one's going to be heavy. So the Bivvy and winter wrap come in at a whopping 7.87 kilograms. Far too heavy for anything else other than putting on a barrow and going fishing. But you don't have to use the winter wrap. Let's see how much that weighs on its own. So that's 1.72 kilograms just for the winter wrapping bag. so you could take that out if you really wanted to. But the sheer size of it means that you would only be using that for fishing anyway. Let's get them set up. So here we have the first tent. Took me far longer to put up than it should have done. I've actually only done it 2 or 3 times previous, probably twice in the garden, and actually once for real, which I'll talk about more in a minute. But as you can see, it is a, well, what I would call a 1 to 2 man tent. It's got a bathtub design, so it has got an inner as well as the outer fly, which I think from memory was 15D nylon. It rained when I was in it at the Peak District, so it's waterproof. I stayed dry, and you can see that it uses walking poles as its main poles. It's got a bit of a funny attachment down here where the doors hook to. It can be a little bit fiddly opening both of them and shutting them up when they've got it super tight like I have there. But let's get in and see what it looks like inside. The view from the inside. Loads of space. This is me fully lying down. I'm not a monster by any stretch of the imagination. I am 5'8"-ish. Plenty of room for me, and as you can see, plenty of room for 2 really. Inside the Lanshan, you have a wee pocket for storing stuff either end, and you also have 2 hooks. Where are they? Yeah, for hanging lights, maybe to put a piece of paracord up to dry out your clothes. It's double-sided. It has another door on this side as well, so quite a big vestibule actually. These zips are a bit naff if I'm honest. Let me just open this door. So as you can see, quite a large vestibule either side, so when you are locked in here and it's raining hard, there's ample space to be cooking food, or put your bag and your boots outside. Actually, I've got some trainers, my main camera outside there. Loads of room. It's getting hot in here. What I will say though, this material, it's very slippery. So the time that I had my airbed in here, yeah, it slipped about during the night, and that wasn't a great experience. Probably could do with some anti-slip material. But the bathtub is about, I don't know, a couple of inches high, so any running rainwater is not going to get in here. So what do I love about the Lanshan? Well, it's lightweight, so when you're sticking it in a rucksack, it's absolutely perfect. It doesn't take up much room either. It actually packs down quite small with the little supply stuff sack that they give you. It's double skin, so it keeps the mosquitoes out and the bugs at bay. It has a large vestibule area on both sides and 2 entry points, so that if you're with another person, both of you can get inside and outside the tent without having to clamber over each other. So far it seems to be waterproof. I have siliconed up some of the seams where some of the stitching is. There's videos on YouTube that said that that can be a point where water might enter, and it's got a bathtub design, so you pretty much know that there's no water getting in even if it's flowing down the hill. And I also like the price. It was about, I think I paid £87 from it from AliExpress, but the approximate cost in the UK is going to run you roughly about 120, I think, which is not bad for a 2-man tent with the spec that it is. So what don't I like about it? Well, the fact that it doesn't come with poles is a start. I used it once so far up in the Peak District when I went to Stanage Edge, and a couple of lads that I was with, we'd been hiking around up there and we were waiting for the sun to go down and people to disappear so we could set up camp. And just as it got dark, we all started pulling out our tents, and I went to get my walking poles only to realise I'd left them in the truck. So I had to walk all the way back to the van to pick up them walker sticks in the dark, and then hike all the way back up to the place where we'd were about to pitch, which really pissed me off. In fact, I I thought about sleeping in the van because I was that cheesed off on myself. So that's a major downside. If you're taking this tent, remember to take the poles with you. So I can only imagine what it would be like if you got to somewhere and you hadn't even packed them. It would be a nightmare. If you had your saw or knife on you, you probably could use some sticks if you were in the woodland somewhere area, but it's just one of them things that you have to consider before you leave. Usually I would always have the walking poles with me. They were attached to my bag that time, and I took them off when I was putting my bag on just when we were about to leave, and I must have just put them down on the van floor and left them there. So my own idiocy. I don't know if you can call that a negative for the Lanshan. I've already said one extra flaw that I'm not really keen on, and it's the slipperiness of the bathtub floor. Things move about on it a bit too easy. If it was a bit more stickier so your bed stayed still in the night, I'd be a bit more happy with it. And thirdly, probably in the final reason that I'm not that keen on it, would be it's just a bit of a faff to put up. It took me far longer than it should have done, and I've done it 3 or 4 times now, I think. So, well, I haven't done it for months, so maybe it's just a bit of a learning curve. If I was doing it all the time, I'm not so sure. But there is an area in the tent where the outer fly is touching the inner, whatever it's called, the inner. And I think that if it did rain or condensation was to build up, that would drip onto there. I'll show you now what I mean. It's probably just the way I've set it up, but yeah, it shouldn't be that hard really, should it? So that's the Lanshan. Let's move on to the Polish Lavvu. So here we have the Polish Lavvu, bought from Military Mart. You'll have seen that in my last wild camping video. Link up here if you haven't seen that already. It's made from a heavy duty canvas. Can't remember how much it weighed, but I'll put some stats up so that you can all see it. This is my go-to in the woods bushcrafty tent. Absolutely love it, and for the money you cannot go wrong. So if you're hiking for anywhere less than a mile or 2, then I absolutely recommend this bit of kit. I can't speak highly enough of it. It does have a couple of downsides, however, not only just being the weight, is that it doesn't come with any bug protection, so there's no inner for the tent, so you're at risk of all the creepy crawlies and the spiders crawling over your face at night. I do use a bivvy inside it, a bivvy bag, to protect myself from the elements as well as the actual tent itself, but that is maybe the biggest downside that I can think of it. I haven't yet used it in any kind of hot conditions. It's roasting today, due to be 19 degrees tomorrow, so they say, and I don't know what it would be like in them conditions. There's a fair bit of air ventilation underneath because I've put some paracord onto it so it lifts the poncho up off the floor to stop rot and mildew, and that probably will allow some airflow to come underneath, but I don't know whether it's going to be cool inside the tent because it's made of canvas or whether it will be roasting, so I'll have to give that a try over the summer and report back to you. That's if we get out by then. I just realised that I forgot to look at my watch when I set it up, so I didn't see how long it took. It's now saying 13:26 and it was 13:15 when I first started putting it up. Obviously I've been chatting to you for the last couple of minutes, so it can only have taken maybe 5 minutes max to set up. It's a really quick shelter to put up, and actually you can halve the tent into 2 single ponchos and make all kinds of different configurations. For the price, you cannot beat it, and this is my go-to place when I'm in the woods on my own. Let's see how long it takes to put it away. It's 13:26, oh 13:27, don't want to do it out of a minute. $13.29, less than 3 minutes, and you're good to go. Last time this tent was used, it was by my nephew. I haven't actually tested it since he gave me it back, so it better be in good shape. I haven't used it probably for 7 years or so. I have no idea what condition it's in. It's been up in the rafters of my garage since then, so let's see how long it takes to set up. 1333. I'll bring you back when I figured it out. $13.45. Don't know if you can see that. Taken frickin' ages to get to this point. Nephew, who had it last, obviously didn't know how the guy ropes worked and tied them all together in a really stupid way. So I've only just got the outer fly up. I'm just about to put the inner up. So here's the footprint of the inside of the Vango. You can see it's huge. And to get the inner inside, it clips into all of these little pulley points. This one's color coded. Clips in and just sits down underneath. So there it is, all set up. Took ages. And actually, since setting it up, I think it's seen better days, to be honest. I've got a rip here in the outer porch fly. There's a rip there. Pretty sure that wasn't there last time I lent it to my nephew. Looks like a burn mark. It's now got a corner point missing that should go onto there. So I think I'm gonna have to retire it to the bin. It's a shame because it was quite a good tent. Let me show you the inside. Big space. I suppose as my girls now are 12 and 15, they probably don't want to come camping with Dad anymore. All the more reason to upgrade. But I've had some good times in the tent. It lasted well in V Festival. And actually, I think it's the lowest hydrostatic head of all of the tents that I've got. But it's survived all of the elements. Not going to worry too much about the pack down time of this one. It's going in the bin, I reckon, anyway, so I see I've got space in the wheelie bin, it can go straight in there. Didn't actually take that long to put away, maybe 5 minutes max. I might keep it just for nostalgia. It's now 2 o'clock. Can't remember what time I started it, but I'm sure it's on one of the first videos that I put up of the Lanshan. What time we started that, I'm not sure. Got one more to do, and it's the bivvy tent that I fish in. Here we have the final of the 4, the Cyprinus Bivvy. This is just the day shelter version. There is a separate version which has a front on it as well, but I didn't purchase that. This is just for all of them occasions where I just need to go out fishing and have a quick shelter to put up. It only took 3 or 4 minutes to put up. It's very simple, very super lightweight. I love it. I do have the optional winter skin. I think I purchased the 2 for roughly £80, so it was a bit of a bargain as well. I'll put that over now so you can see what that looks like. And there we have it. Spent many a night in there, waiting for the carp reels to scream off. Loads of space. Easily fits a bed chair in here. Ultra comfort. I love it. And for the price paid, an absolute bargain. There's a vent on the back to allow airflow in the summer. And these door flaps can be folded back to open up to the full extent of the bivvy. The price I paid for it, you can't go wrong with Cyprinus gear. It comes with heavy duty pegs. I've not used them here, I've just used some of my other ones that I've got laying about from the other tents. And it also comes with a ground sheet not the best quality, not the best thickness, but it does the job. And it comes in an oversized bag, which is huge. There's no problem with getting the bivvy back in. So all in all, a good purchase for the money. Let's see how long it takes to put it down. 14:08. 14:11, not too bad. So there's a look at all 4 shelters that I've got. My favourite, if I had to pick a favourite, would be, can I pick 2? I could do it once, my video, wouldn't it? Yeah, I'll pick 2. So my favourites are the Lanshan and the Polish Lavvu. The Polish Lavvu is just awesome for the money, and I don't think you'll get better quality. So if you've got a spare 50 bucks floating around, grab one while you still can, because they are awesome. And also the Lanshan, for all of its flaws, it's such a good tent for the money. Under £100 to be that lightweight and to be that portable is a great little tent. So it does have its downsides. I'll put some honourable mentions in. I'd love to have one of these, but I'll probably end up getting one of these. The price difference is about £600 or £700, I think. So as much as I would love it, I cannot afford one of them. So which was your favourite shelter? If you'd like to drop a comment below, I absolutely do read every single one of them and reply to all of them, because there's not that many at the moment. If you want to engage, drop some comments down below so that I can get to know you all. It's great to see them. Which one would you choose? Which one was your favourite? Not sponsored. That was effort. I'm knackered. It took far longer than I thought it would. You know, when you have an idea in your head and you think, yeah, that'll be good. The reality of it, not so good. But I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope you keep coming back for more. Like and subscribe and all that jazz. A couple of quick shout outs to some of my subscribers already. Had a message from a guy called Wills in Australia. So it's mad to think that people from across the other side of the world are tuning in to watch this kind of stuff. So appreciate you. And also to Tiny and Zoe from America. I'll link your channel in the description below. He's got some great videos on coins. I sent him some from the UK. So head on over there, have a look at some of his stuff, it's great. But thank you to all of the other people who have subscribed. We're now just over the 100 mark, so yay, another giveaway to come. What I'll probably do is scour Amazon for a reasonably cheap but great prize, and we'll get that arranged so we can have another giveaway. I said I would do that when I hit 100. See some dogs running around in the background, distracting me a wee bit. So all that's left to say is peace out from Steelman Outdoors, stay safe, and I'll catch you on the next one.